Hey all, welcome to Katayna. I want to bring your attention to something before we start this episode. You'll notice the figures down at the bottom here are going to be a little bit different than what they are in the main thrust of the episode. And that's because the prequel clips that I made for this episode didn't record the audio. So, just the adventures of being new to creating videos for YouTube. So, I'm just going to kind of go over a few of the things that changed between the last episode and this episode. We'll go from there into the main thrust of the episode. Today should be a fun build. We're going to build a grain facility. Just want to highlight some of the changes in the city between the last episode and the start of this one. And the first and foremost is this intersection here. The last episode, at the beginning of it, there was a roundabout at this intersection, and the traffic was backed all the way up to the edge of the map. So, I had to make some changes. I did some lane mathematics, I did some bypasses, and so that way the people can get through this. And as you can see, it works decently well. You know that it's not pretty, but it's functional. It's backing up a little bit, but it's a major intersection, so that's to be expected, right? On the other hand, there's also this intersection over here that I reworked. These were getting backed way up, so the major things I did were I added these bypasses through the intersection. Again, you're not going to find any intersections quite like this in the Intermountain region, but gotta do what you gotta do to work with the game. And like the other intersection, it's not exactly pretty, but you know what, it works. And as you can see, the traffic is not backing up, so we're good. The other major change is up here. So this was what we completed last episode, was this park here. And I completed this suburb here. Named it Shelco. This is modeled after a small town near Idaho Falls named Shelley. And when the town was founded, the founders ran a contest to name the city. And one of the contenders for the names for the town was Shelco. So I decided to name the suburb Shelco. The last bit that I'll emphasize is I did some road frames. So these rural areas, these are going to fill up with some kind of rural infill. I'll show you a video here that demonstrates the inspiration for these road frames. This is some rural areas north of Idaho Falls. And so those are kind of the main inspiration for this road frame. And I hope it will become filled in with farms, plus a few neighborhoods in and around the fields, maybe a small town or two. And yeah, so that's what's going to happen with this. And as we expand southward into the rest of the map, that will be the main idea for the road frames that will come in through these regions. So anyway, let's get started on the main part of this episode. All right. So for starters, let's get our farming industry set up, or at least the start of it. Obviously, farming is going to take up a substantial amount of the city. Oh, well, I think what we're going to do today is we're just going to start with this corner here, and then we'll move on to the other parts of the build. So first off, we're going to start. Let's go to our industry. And we need farming. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw down a farming main building, and we're gonna worry about the location of it later. So we're gonna take the paint industry area. We're gonna paint it over all of this, except for this little corner right here, which I plan on making into like a little suburban neighborhood. And now let's see what we can do for functional industry. What I'm thinking is I don't want these areas to just get so clogged up with traffic that it's, with industrial traffic. I just don't want that. Most of it will be dummy fields, and then I'll put the occasional, legit field. So maybe one legitimate field, functional field per square. So let's try this out and see how it works, how it looks. So first off, we're going to get the large dummy fields. Okay, so cotton is out, but we do have corn and potatoes. What I see being a potential problem here is that I think I only have this one size. So we're going to kind of just work with this. Put one here, and one here, put one here, and one here. I'll put dirt roads and stuff, and maybe a few small houses and other things. And let's put in one legitimate field in here. Okay, where are you, industry? There you are. There we go. I like the look of this kind of greenhouse in the midst of these fields here. That looks nice, so I think I'll keep that. What I think I'll do is I'm going to relocate this to right here. And we'll take a dirt road. We'll put it up this way. And then we'll put in another legit field in this side right here. And I think I'll change that to greenhouse as well. Okay, so we've got that sorted out. Why don't we just put the farm main building here? And then I want to try out a couple of the additional assets here. So the farm workers barracks, that's the farm main building, farm maintenance building. So that there, we'll bring this up here, and we'll put in another one of the barracks here. I'm going to put on anarchy because I really don't feel like that matters right there. So we can bring that up here. Okay, anarchy again, because we can. So there. Okay, that works. And we'll put in some more farmer barracks here. And do gravel. Increase the brush size. Okay, so, and maybe we, as a last kind of decoration, we put 2 small grain silos, and I'm going to leave these at empty because I know that they're going to generate ridiculous traffic. And I really like how that's looking. Having this lurid green at the edge of these fields doesn't work for me, so I'm going to paint these all out in gravel. Okay, and that's kind of the concept. I'll probably add another farmhouse, kind of use maybe some of the workshop assets to bring a little farmhouse in this corner. But I think that kind of gives the general idea of what I'm going to be looking for from these agricultural areas. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the rest of these fields offline. All right, that took forever, but it is done. The farm I was raised on was called Crow Creek Estates, or at least my grandfather's farm. So I named this corner of the map the Raven Estates. I'll give you a little overview of what I did. Did the mix and match like I said I would do earlier. And in and amongst the fields, I put a few houses, like this little farmhouse here, as well as storage barns, regular barns, a few pastures, and then I also included some farming industry assets as well in order to create this kind of nice little farming aesthetic here. And then the last thing that I did was I created this neighborhood here. Just kind of a out of the way residential area that people who don't really want many neighbors go to, you know, that's kind of the general idea of it. And I'm seeing we're going to have to do some residential build. I'm going to fix some issues here. I need to make these buildings historical, provide enough workers for these industrial lands. So I'm going to do that really quick. I'll be right back. I just built this neighborhood, so we're going to see if this puts a dent in our residential demand and brings us some new workers. Well, looks like it's gotten a little better. Yeah, we're starting to see that go. All right, so while our residential demand is still high, it looks like it really took a chunk out of it, and we've got ourselves enough people to fill all the jobs. Okay, now, oh shoot, and I just saw another problem. I have to go through and historicalize all these houses, or else we're going to get this happening, which is absolutely not. So I'll be right back. So now that we've gotten that all figured out, we've gotten some additional population, and we've gotten this farming area really well put together. Now it's time to focus on the main thrust of this build, which is the grain elevator and the wheat processing plant. So that will be what we'll turn our attention to next. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started on the main build here. I'm going to leave here a video of a top-down view of the Anheuser Busch Facility, which this is based off of. As you can see, this facility has a railroad going into it. This square right here, bounded by these roads, is going to be kind of where the main facility will be. I'm going to start with, let's see here, if I can, memory serves me, there we go. I'm going to start with bringing a train line in. I'm going to bring together a facility here. I'm going to include all of the assets that I think I'm going to use, and then we'll figure out their placement. So we brought the train line in. Obviously, we're going to need a cargo train terminal. I think that would be really well advised for this build in general. We don't have one yet. And with all of this farming industry coming in, we'll need one. So this may as well be the place for it, right? Okay, so I'm going to bring out a road. Okay. So we've got ourselves a freight train station here. Okay, so there's a couple of different assets I want to bring in here. The first of all is this Farine 5 Roses flour mill, and I can see we're going to need the farming industry to come over here, so we'll draw that out. We'll just do that. And my thought is as people come down this way, they'll go under the railroad bridge here, and there'll just be this huge facility right here next to the highway. This holding road, but I think this will do well for being our holding road, and I'm going to bring that back out a little bit so that truck traffic can come around that way. And we're going to figure out, kind of by trial and error, how this facility fits together. So we have Farine 5 Roses, and then accompanying this facility is a series of grain elevators. I think what I'm going to do, I would prefer this varying 5 roses, the main building, to face the freeway. So I'm going to put it right there. And what I think would be really cool is we've got this, like, it just is begging to be used with the road going through it. So what I'm going to do is I can use move it. Yeah, like that. I love that. That's great. Okay, so we'll bring it down this way. Okay. Okay. And then we'll kind of adjust this to right here. This right here. And we'll have another road go underneath that. Okay, but we're going to have to finagle this a little bit. That's not going to work quite the way I was imagining, but we can figure it out. Okay, we'll put this here. And we will move it right here. And let's put another green elevator right here. Is that going to give us enough space for a path? That's kind of my hope here. Well, no, but that's what anarchy is for. So there. Okay, that gives us kind of a main thrust of a facility. And you'll go past, and there it is. And we'll do, I guess that's the last building that we have available. Beautiful. All right, so we have the main kind of facility here. Farine, I don't even know how to say that. Farine. Anyway, so we have kind of the main facility here. So I'm going to see if there's some other assets from the farming pack that we can bring into this. Let's see here. These grain silos. And, and at some point it's like, at what point is it overkill, At what point does one facility have all the grain silos it needs? So the rest of the facility, I do want there to be at least some functional, farming facility stuff. I'm thinking we will include at least one flour mill in this facility. The 5 roses already makes it, but, just a little extra facility is always a good thing, I think. So we'll bring that up here. And then there's one more asset I think I'd like to add to this. This asset is from the workshop at the Colossal Mills. Oh gosh, that is a chungus, in the words of Overcharged Egg. So what if we bring this over here and kind of give it its own little space? I'm kind of wondering if this Colossal Mills build should be like its own build, because that is an enormous building. At the same time, it kind of works. It works with this facility. We'll do that. And just to kind of fill this out, we'll add some parking. And then we'll add 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 on each side. And we'll make sure those actually look good together. All right. Let's see what this facility looks like from the road now. I like this. This looks good. Let's see here. Copy. Can I live with it not being mirrored exactly? I think I can. Yeah. Okay. I'm just wondering if there's anything else we can bring into this build. That rusty warehouse asset looks tasty. Okay. We'll bring that one last asset into this build. I think next is the detailing time lapse. We need to finish up this facility. We need to add kind of a facility. We need to make it kind of some grounds and maybe some trees and some greenery. We'll go from there. So I'll talk to you in a second. Let's have some fun. that's it. Just to kind of recap, for the detailing, I added kind of this little office area in this square. So I added maybe some amenities that office workers would enjoy, some benches, some trees and planters, and maybe a basketball court. I ended up putting in all of these flower props here, some trucks. Did a few little details in this little kind of concrete yard here, and then added some trucks and some trailers to the back of the flour mills, and added these props to the side of the train station. So that was basically it. It wasn't super fancy or anything, but you know what? It does give an impressive facility look. And as you're driving past, you get this huge Faring Five Roses flour mill. And I like it. I think it looks really good as just this broader facility. So anyway, thanks for joining me on this adventure, and I'll talk to you later.